I love this miserable weather. It is rain. It's been raining for the last 15 minutes out there.
I tell you what, just looking out there, it's the kind of weather I can imagine Jack Viney thriving in with that hard-at-it style.
On that note, let's welcome into the commentary box here at the MCG co-captain of the Melbourne Football Club, an injured Jack Viney. Hello, mate.
Okay, guys. How you going?
Jake obviously wasn't listening to the conversation we were having off air earlier, where you people think you like this weather, but you don't really, do you?
Yeah, people just assume because I'm a in and under player that I like it raining, but that's actually incorrect. I much prefer it just nice and sunny and dry. And
I suspect, mate, does anyone prefer it raining?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so.
I mean, as a spectator, I quite enjoy it, but when you're playing, it's a different story.
Yeah.
Now, how is the shoulder?
Shoulder's good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done a shoulder before, so this is it's a bit weird. It's fine, but obviously because of contact and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got to be careful with it.
Did it add a little sting to the injury that it was a 4-gamer? As Sydney Stack was in his 4th game when he.
Nah.
I mean, he just timed it perfectly. That bump on you.
Yeah, it was a great hit. It's all about speed and intent rather than weight and experience. So he lined me up. And I turned around and didn't have a whole lot of time to react. And I probably had a split second looking back on it where I could have maybe tried to sidestep. But, when I'm in that position, my initial reaction is just to try and
Your reaction was, I'm Jack Viney and he's only played 4 games. So
yeah, I didn't see who it was, but whoever it was, I'm always trying to, run into it rather than avoid it.
Did you get your high at all?
Sorry?
Did you get your head at all?
Nah, it was all my shoulder.
You toughed it out pretty well, though. Like, you didn't really give too much away on the ground. I mean, you could tell you were hurt.
Yeah.
But you didn't give too much away.
Yeah, I tried to, it was obviously a big hit, and I felt kind of my my side of my body kind of, not feel like it should. And I was trying to work out whether maybe I'd broken my collarbone or it was my shoulder. And luckily I was just near the bench, so the doctors and physio said, just come off. So he ran off and I just went straight into the rooms. And I tried coming back on, but I think we're kind of out of the game at that point, and we just said, let's not risk anything.
So when will you be back?
That's a great question. I'm aiming for next week, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure how these things heal up. And I know the doctors and physio said 2 weeks, so to be safe, I think another week I'll be on the sidelines, but I'll be pushing to play next week.
Now, we know it's been a tough training week for you guys. We saw a bit of one-on-one vision in the news during the week where the goodies, I guess, asking the boys to toughen up a little bit. But there was a bizarre incident with Christian Petracca this week.
Yes.
Can you explain to us what happened? Because the story as we heard it is that he didn't nearly drown, but he had an incident where he got in a bit of trouble doing some underwater training. Yeah,
so, we do this form of off-legs conditioning called hypoxic swimming sessions. So essentially what they are, holding your breath for extended periods of time underwater whilst doing activities. And it's something I did a lot last year when I was injured leading up into the finals and felt like it really helped me. So I know Petracca is similar in likes doing those kind of sessions. So we are supervised whenever we do this stuff, but Christian just pushed himself a little bit too far and got a bit lightheaded, and the supervisor had to jump in and get him. So
he could have come up for a breath. He just pushed himself a bit too hard.
Yeah. It was it's purely to do with the individual and how far they're willing to.
There's a medicine ball, isn't there?
There's multiple different exercises you do. It's and some involving medicine balls. Yeah,
I have a rule when I go in a pool to never carry a medicine ball.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's what that's kind of part of doing it is no one likes. Everyone feels uncomfortable underwater. It's not like you get underwater and not being able to breathe and just like, this is awesome. But being able to kind of cope and deal with a level of anxiety and that feeling of uncomfortableness. is part of the session.
It brought back horrible memories of when I was on ABC TV News. We had to do helicopter underwater training.
Yeah.
And so you're in a capsule and they throw you into the pool and you're blindfolded and you've got to find your way out of this capsule.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I skipped the second session.
All right. You didn't miss any games though, did you, Ange?
No. But I tell you what, it's not my preferred method of training.
Yeah, it's tough.
Very nice. Now, a lot of talk this week. In fact, Jake has written about this week of the injuries at the club and the number of off-season players injured in the off-season.
Yes.
Did you look at those numbers and did that check with what you felt as though were the injury issues across the off-season?
You might have to fill me in on...
I think it was 39 players in 2018 did 33 completed sessions. This year it was only 25.
Yep.
And average 22 each.
Yeah.
So you had a lot more players, and you're one of them. You're one of the 15 that had surgery.
Yeah. We had a lot of... I was aware that we had a very high number of surgeries post the season, which keeps guys, depending on the surgery, but if you have surgery, you're kind of not back to full training for at least 3 months. So no doubt that puts a dent in your, your pre-seasons, but we still had adequate time of, we still had, a month of training before the season started. So I know there's been a bit of focus, on that and, correlating that to our poor start. And, I don't, it definitely wouldn't have helped, but I don't see that as a real cause of where we're at.
Well, on that, Jack, where do you pinpoint the biggest failing? I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that are wrong this year, but what do you think is the single biggest thing? I mean, is it defending? Is it what you do without the ball, or is it failure to convert?
I think it's I think it's I find it hard to pinpoint one exact thing, but I do think it's a whole combination of a lot of things. Defensively, obviously, we've made a big point of trying to improve that aspect of our game. But I feel like it's been kind of around, just the general football decisions you make in a game. That link offense to defense to contest. So, I feel like which we have been focusing the last couple of weeks, and I reckon we'll start to see dividends with that kind of decision-making, contest decision-making on the field. I think we'll start to see some dividends, this week and into the future.
Another theory doing the rounds, and there are always theories when a club is underperforming, was the one about, the not dealing with the preliminary final loss, not analysing it. Is that true, that you didn't sort of devote any attention to it?
No, we definitely devoted time to it, but it wasn't worth... I mean, I think we addressed it to the point we needed to address it to, and we didn't dwell on it. We addressed it the first day back of pre-season, and obviously players and coaches had, the whole off-season to dwell on it and to dissect it and reflect. And then come pre-season, we discussed those reflections, and then it was on to improving and trying to get better and set us up for a new season. So, again, I see where these these assumptions come from, and because we are a team under pressure at the moment. But I don't buy into that a whole lot.
Jack, the coach made a comment about Stephen May coming to the club not in a particularly fit state. As the captain, did you have any words with him?
And this is another thing I think is kind of been blown out of proportion a little bit in terms of, obviously Stephen didn't come to pre-season in his peak condition, but so too to a third of the group. This is probably something common amongst all AFL clubs, and particularly a player coming from another team who doesn't have any, who wouldn't really have had a clear understanding of the expectations we have at Melbourne. So. You'd expect him to turn up in the condition he was. Obviously, there was a lot of work, needed to be done to get himself right for the start of the season. But that's what pre-season's for, and the mindset and manner he attacked it, and understanding once he worked out, this is what's required from me at footy club. He put his head down and worked his butt off to get himself very, very fit.
Well, Jack, the D's are, of course, taking on the Hawks here at the MCG today. What's your tip?
Oh, yeah, I saw something about Devon Smith tipping whoever they play this week. He tipped against his own team in the paper. Yeah,
Isn't it?
I saw that.
Someone else must have got to that.
Yeah, he's obviously not filling his tips. Someone else put for him. But I will be tipping my team this week, and I think we'll get the job done.
All right, very nice. And during your recovery, will you be carrying a medicine ball into a swimming pool at any time?
Well, like I said, I do enjoy that kind of session, but I won't be pushing myself to the point of
have you
almost passing out.
Have you done one of those? Have you gone?
Yeah, I did a few. I did a lot of those sessions leading up to last year when I was injured, and there were a couple of times the kind of colour starts to fade out of your world a little bit, and that's when you're probably like, you know what, I don't push it any further.
It's safe to say I would not be pushing it to that level. Well, Jack Viney, co-captain of the Melbourne Football Club, thank you for joining us here in the commentary box for ABC Grandstand. Much appreciated.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Jack Viney there from the Melbourne Football Club, good enough to join us